So today I wanted to talk about something that I have done and I have never seen anyone talk about how I never ever sleep in. So I made another video on this, but it's a little bit different how I do it now just for the most success. So if you're like me, I'm an entrepreneur, right? I want to work 16 hours a day. I want to get up early, want to, never have a chance to slack. And I believe that the best way for me to do that is to create good systems because then I won't have to rely on willpower, right? There's a lot of studies behind how willpower is actually limited. So the good systems in place, the best way to do that, in my opinion. And so one thing that I always struggle with, whenever I set an alarm on days where I don't have work, right? On days where I'm just working on my computer and I don't really have to get up for anything, quote unquote, it's really hard for me to get up. And I do end up, staying in my bed, sleeping in a little bit further than what I usually would. This is also due, I'm from Northern Canada, so it's dark until like 9 o'clock a.m. When I'm trying to wake up at 6 a.m. and it's still dark for 3 hours, it's terrible. And it's terrible for you, like evolutionary, like psychologically, right? Like the sun actually regulates how you wake up and stuff. But anyways, besides the point, I'm going to talk about my system that I have that makes sure that I never, ever, ever have a chance to sleep in that bed. So it's going to be called a double alarm. Now, I literally have never seen this. In my 19 years of life, I have not seen anything close to being talked about something like this. Now, I don't know if my issue is, pretty rare because I just can't get myself up. I'm sure other people have that issue. But it's going to be called the double alarm. Now, how does the double alarm work? And this is something that a lot of people have, talked to me about. I've talked about this in a few other videos, but I'm going to be telling you the best ways to do it. So all you need is two things. You need your phone, which everyone has a phone. If you're watching this, you have that. The only other thing you need is a second thing to act as an alarm. So for me, I use my watch, right? This is a Whoop watch, right? It's like a health band. You can set it on my app. If you have another phone, if you have an alarm clock, anything like that. So all you need is something else that you can set an alarm on, right? Now, how you're going to do this and how you're going to formulate this, you're going to have your phone in another room. Now, this can be the living room. For me, I like to put it in a closet. Like my house, you walk in and you go upstairs or downstairs. There's a closet on like the main floor. I put it in the closet on the main floor so that I don't have a chance to scroll when I first wake up. But what you're going to do, and you can write this down, you're going to take your main phone, put it in another room across your house somewhere, set an alarm, let's say 7 o'clock. Let's just use reference for 7 o'clock. If you want to get up at 7 o'clock, set that alarm for 7:01 or 7:02, and I'll tell you why 7:01 or 7:02 specifically. You're going to do that, and then on your second alarm, whether that be your watch, your other phone, your alarm clock, you're going to set it for 7 right on the dot. Now, how does the system work? Chances are you probably know how the system works, but this is what you're going to do. You're going to set your second alarm for 7. You're going to get woken up at 7 on the dot. And guess what? You have 60 seconds to get up after you wake up from that alarm to go and turn off the alarm on your other phone. I sometimes do it to like 2-3 minutes, depending on how early I'm waking up and how much sleep I get. It probably does spike your cortisol a little bit, but at the end of the day, I care about getting a jump on the tape more than that. And you can do it in certain ways. But anyways, you're going to get woken up from your first alarm clock. You have 60 seconds, you have 120 seconds to turn off your other alarm before it starts going off, right? And there's two things behind that as well. So one of them is that, so number one, if you have family in your house, guess what? If you don't turn off that alarm, you're waking everyone up in the house. And I'm sure you don't want that. Number two, which is why this is so fail-proof, if you're sitting here, and I used to live alone. I lived alone for like 3-4 months, my own apartment. And it still worked when I did this. Even if you live alone, if you set that alarm there and you choose not to go that alarm over there, do you think you're going to fall back asleep? Right? Do you think you're going to fall back asleep? Now, another reason why this works so well, and in theory, you don't just turn it off and go straight back to bed. You put it on the other side of the house. because you getting up, right? You jumping out of bed, you going all the way down, you having to cognitively look, right? Shut off your phone. By the time you do that, it's already been, like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. And I don't know about you, but for me, myself, when I wake up, first thing I do is go to the bathroom. If you go to the bathroom, that's another, 2 minutes that you're up and you're out of that sleeping state. And by the time you finally do go to bed, if you do, you're not going to be sleepy, right? And you're not going to instantly fall asleep. You're just going to be laying there, and then chances are you're already awake. You're like, okay, let me do this. Now, there has been a few times, and I will tell you this, when I'm super tired, when I slept 5 hours, 4 hours, and it's 6 a.m., and I go into the living room on the couch to start my day, whatever, I will fall asleep again. And that is because I'm on the couch, I'm in a comfortable position, and I have nothing to do. Now, the best way to combat my phone ran out of storage as I was recording that, but the point stands. And one way that you'll never fall asleep is go right into the environment where you work. So for me, that's my desk in my room. If I go to my desk in my room after I wake up, never falling asleep. I'll never fall asleep on my chair, right? And then that's also supplemented by having the right thing to do. And it's a full system. And I'm going to make a video. Might even make an ebook on this. Not an ebook. An ebook. Something like that. I don't know, but I'll see. But the main point stands. In summary, set your first alarm here. It's going to be a separate one from your main phone. Set it at whatever time you want to wake up at. Set your second alarm for a minute or two afterwards. And then when you wake up there, you're going to have a minute or two to shut off that alarm before either one, you wake up your family, or two, it just starts blaring. So that's that. And that's the best system I have ever seen. And like I said, I've never seen anyone talk about this. So do with that what you will. I promise you, you will never, ever, ever sleep in past your alarm again. So that's that. Thank you guys for watching. You should have followed me for more. I love routines. I love habits. I like to think of myself as a high efficiency entrepreneur trying to build $1 million AI agency. So make sure you stick around for that. Subscribe, follow the journey, follow my Instagram, more daily updates. But with all that being said, see you guys in the next one. Oh, join my free AI agency Discord as well, where we talk about everything. If you're starting an AI agency, any agency, make sure to do that. There's a ton of killers in there too. But that's that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Above all, stay wise.